Big news in the world of US currency. Donald Trump has announced that he's telling the Treasury Department to stop minting pennies. That's right, the little copper-colored coin that's been around for over 150 years might be on its way out. But is this actually happening? Why does he want to do this? And what happens in countries that have already ditched their smallest coins? Today, we're diving deep into the penny problem, the history of eliminating small change, and what it means for you if the US finally says goodbye to the 1-cent coin. Stick around, because we've even got an experiment to see if rounding up prices actually makes a difference in real life. Alright, let's talk about why Trump is pushing to stop minting pennies. Turns out making pennies costs more than they're actually worth. In 2024, the US Mint reported that it costs around 3.7 cents to produce just one penny. And when you're making billions of these things every year, that adds up to tens of millions of dollars in losses. Not exactly a smart financial move, right? In fact, last year alone, the government reportedly lost $85 million just from producing pennies. So Trump's argument is that it's a waste of money. And he's not the first person to suggest this. Economists and lawmakers have been debating getting rid of the penny for years. This isn't the first time someone has tried to get rid of the penny. In fact, it's been a hot debate for decades. Back in 2006, then-Senator John McCain supported eliminating the penny due to rising production costs. In 2017, a bill called the Penny Act was introduced to phase them out, but it never made it through Congress. Even President Obama once hinted at the idea, but no one wanted to be the politician known for killing Lincoln, since his face is on the penny. Fun fact: during World War II, pennies were actually made of steel instead of copper because the government needed copper for ammunition. So even back then, the cost of producing pennies was a concern. But the US wouldn't be the first country to say goodbye to its smallest coin. Let's look at a few places that have already pulled the plug on their pennies, or their equivalent. In 2012, Canada officially stopped producing its penny. The Royal Canadian Mint said it cost them 1.6 cents to make each penny, so they scrapped it. Businesses just round prices up or down to the nearest 5 cents when dealing with cash transactions. Digital payments still use exact pricing though. Australia and New Zealand got rid of their 1 cent and 2 cent coins back in the 1990s, and honestly, people barely noticed. Again, prices just round up or down, and the economy kept moving just fine. Even in Europe, some countries have phased out 1 and 2 cent euro coins. Finland, for example, rounds everything to the nearest 5 cents in cash transactions. So what would actually change for us if the penny disappeared? First off, digital payments wouldn't change at all. You'd still see exact prices online and on credit card purchases, but for cash payments, businesses would likely start rounding prices up or down to the nearest nickel. Would this mean prices go up? Probably not in any noticeable way. Studies from Canada and other countries show that rounding evens out over time, but not everyone is on board. The zinc industry, since pennies are mostly made of zinc, doesn't want to lose business. And groups like Americans for Common Sense argue that without pennies, stores will start rounding prices up more often, which could hurt consumers. Alright, I wanted to put this whole rounding debate to the test. So I went out and made a few small cash purchases, keeping track of whether my total was rounded up or down. Let's see if I lost or gained money in the process. So, after 10 transactions, my totals were rounded up 5 times and down 5 times, which means overall, I didn't really lose anything. This matches what happened in Canada, where studies found that rounding has no significant impact on consumers. Now, Trump's announcement doesn't mean the penny is officially gone just yet. The Treasury can stop minting pennies, but to fully phase them out, Congress would likely have to pass a law. And since some people feel pretty strongly about keeping pennies, this could turn into a bigger political debate. Some presidents and politicians have tried to push for this before, but it never got enough support. Will it happen this time? That's the big question. So what do you think? Should the US finally get rid of pennies, or should we keep them around for tradition's sake? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this video interesting, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the weird and fascinating world of money. End of video.